Well, welcome again to Breakfast with Bob, Boston Marathon Edition. My name is Bob Babbitt. We're presented and hosted by Hyland's, Stop Your Cramp, Not Your Race, and by Polar, Chase Your Destiny. And talking about Hyland's, one of the teachers who will be running here tomorrow, Rachel Simpson, and she's also part of Let Me Run. How you doing, Rachel?
Hi, good. Pleasure to be here. Thrilled.
So, growing up, what were your sports?
My sports were running.
Yes, always runner.
That was pretty much it.
So you run high school, that type of stuff?
I started running AAU, the Cupertino Yearlings, when
wow.
I was in 6th grade.
Oh,
and
my
I
God.
was, they started me at we'll try the 200.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's move you up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's move you up a little bit. So I wasn't the fastest. I wasn't, coming in first, but I just loved it. I loved being part of the team. So I went up to the 1500.
The longer
and the
it was,
3000.
the better Rachel did.
Well, I found my place to fit in a little bit.
Yes, and I bet you the coach was like, it's a long event, Rachel will do it.
It was just happy for me. I just enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you run all through in your 20s and all
yes,
this? Yes,
I've been pretty much running ever since.
When did you make the move up to the marathon?
When I was approaching 30. So, I'd run 10Ks and lots of half marathons. And then it's like, ooh, the big 3-0 was coming if I had only known. It's like, so I decided to take the big dip and do the St. Louis Marathon was my first one.
Oh, wow.
And so, yeah.
And you loved it?
I did, yeah.
Sort of the
absolutely.
challenge, the whole day.
I love the training,
yeah.
like the whole process.
Yes.
Yes, everything leading up to it, the feeling awesome after running an 18-mile training run, and I like to eat, so I think the food that kind of, you feel like you can just go along with it is part of the fun.
And was the career path always teaching?
My father was a teacher, and initially I wanted to be a nurse. My oldest sister is a nurse. And then I was at San Diego State, and I looked into athletic training, and then made the move over into physical education. And so I wasn't a jock by any means.
No.
I liked running and fitness. And when I went in and did PE and worked with the kids, and I worked at a summer camp at San Diego State, and was like, I like this. So it was just fun. And then my first teaching job was with Project Spark.
Oh.
And that's, it's a huge curriculum now. It's a big PE curriculum.
Yes.
But it was a San Diego State-based research study. So that was this really awesome thing to be part of.
Right.
I was a PE specialist, and we trained classroom teachers to do our curriculum and did a whole comparison of activity level of kids. And so that was a really cool intro.
So looking at that, did you get a sense that, okay, when the kids are more active, they're better in school as well?
Oh, yes. I mean,
it was huge, right?
We know that, yes.
Yes.
Right.
So when you see the schools, because of budget cuts, continuing to cut PE, it's that's self-defeating,
it's
right?
Absolutely.
Because the kids are they need that.
They absolutely need that, yes.
Now, when did you move Bay Area?
So I grew up in the Bay Area.
Yes.
And then I went to San Diego State.
Yes.
And I am now in St. Louis.
Oh, you're in St. Louis teaching?
I am now in St. Louis.
Okay.
Yep.
And as a PE teacher there, was running always part of your curriculum with the kids?
So I worked in research a little bit, exercise physiology and exercise with older adults through Washington University.
Right.
I was part of a research study there. And then decided to go, I took some time off when I had my daughter for a couple years, and then went back to teaching. And because running had been a big part of my life. So I was at a school for a couple years, and the coach and teacher there was more sport.
Of course.
And he
Ball
was
sports.
like, but super awesome. I have to give a shout out. Larry Husko, my original teaching partner. And I had more of the fitness and the running. So we were this great balance for PE.
Yes.
And I like to think that he came a little more around to how important fitness is for the kids. I mean, with the sport and all of that. For me, running has always been part of the program.
Let Me Run.
Yes, Let Me Run. So I started as a Girls on the Run coach. So I've coached Girls on the Run for 10 years, 10 seasons, 10 years.
An amazing program.
Awesome program. And, there was nothing for the boys. And then I had talked to a friend.
Oh, that's right. It's all girls, right?
Girls on the Run, right? And the boys, hey, when is there going to be boys on the run?
Yeah.
And then I heard about Let Me Run. And there was a training session in the St. Louis area. Went to that, and it was really awesome because that session, because it was so new in our area, my school was in the first year that Let Me Run participated in the Midwest. And Ashley Armistead, the founder of Let Me Run,
yes,
came to our training. And that's a big deal now that it's
big
growing.
Time.
It's a big deal to have Ashley at your training, and Paul Martino. And the Byron, who brought the program to St. Louis and went to New Orleans to get trained, and then it's like, all right, I've got to bring this to St. Louis. And he was so passionate about it. Hearing him, he'd gone through the training, and it's like, oh, well, obviously I have to do this. I mean, I was there, and I asked the head of my school, how do you feel about adding a whole nother running program?
Right.
And totally supportive.
Very
so
cool.
we have Girls on the Run and Let Me Run. So I've just...
You run Let Me Run.
I run Let Me Run at my school, and I'm on the advisory council
Right.
in the St. Louis area. And our goal is to get it out there. I mean, any school that has Girls on the Run, they
should have Let Me Run.
Should absolutely have Let Me Run.
So was Let Me Run just boys then?
It's just boys.
Very cool.
It's a
boys rule. I like it.
It's good, and and the motto, it says it all, right? Let me run. And so Girls on the Run, you start with the talking. Each lesson and each meeting they talk, and there's a lot of talking. Then we get out and run. With the boys, we run first. We get out, we run, we get that energy and that focus, and then we do the lessons and talk about the connecting and
right.
the stress relief and preparing for the future and emotions and all of these things that are really important.
So how many Let Me Run programs are there now around the country?
It's growing. I don't know if I can pin the exact number. We have, I want to say there are about 25 teams in the St. Louis area.
Oh, wow, just in St. Louis area.
Right. Started in North Carolina, so
Yep.
it's huge back there, really all over the East Coast.
Yeah.
And it's trickling, it's making its way west. I know they have a couple there's a team in the Bay Area.
Yes.
And so it's getting out there, but it needs to get out there faster.
How many, what age-wise?
So it starts in 4th grade.
Oh, okay.
And so I do 4th through 6th grade. And there is a curriculum that goes up into the middle school. But I do the 4th, 5th, and 6th grade program.
And what changes have you seen? Have you seen some kids who basically seemed a little distracted, really weren't able to focus in school, and now through the Let Me Run program, they've had success there, and that's transferred back?
I think the thing that that I see is, and it's throughout the time, like in a season, by the time you get to the 4th lesson and the 5th lesson, they are more comfortable being honest and sharing the feelings, and that aspect that is not necessarily natural or hasn't been acceptable in our
Right.
society for boys. And having that connection and with emotions where they can talk to people and have support, where they don't have to take, I'm feeling sad today, but I can't say it. I'm feeling
Right.
hurt. Is it okay to talk about that?
Yeah.
So seeing those gradual changes. And they have done a lot of research now in the, with the program, and they really are seeing some really important factors with, education and all of that through
Sure.
As they go. I feel like we're getting them now, and the changes, we're watching as they go.
So what's fascinating is a lot of kids are really good at ball sports. Baseball, football, basketball are good at that. There's other kids who aren't necessarily good at that and don't see themselves as an athlete, and then all of a sudden they start running, and it's like, oh my God, the light bulb goes on. They're good at this, and they can be an athlete even though they never thought of themselves as an athlete.
Right.
I'm guessing you've seen some of that.
Yeah, absolutely, and you don't have to be an athlete. I mean, it's not about the running. It's about having a goal, and as an athlete, competing against yourself.
Sure.
We're not worried about, what everybody else is doing. It's, am I getting better? Am I meeting my goals?
Yeah.
How do I feel? And that camaraderie. And when there's, the last boy coming in the 5K of our group, and the other guys get out there.
Cheer for him, yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, then they get out there and run him through to the finish and kind of, get off to the side, let him cross the finish line, but they're there supporting.
Love that.
And there's so many amazing stories that go along with it. You have some that I've heard from a lot of the other schools too.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's...
So did the Hylands folks surprise you?
Yes. Yes, they did.
How did they do it?
Well, I had heard about this opportunity to
Right.
do the Boston Marathon, through Let Me Run, one of our advisory council members said, I thought of you, when I saw this opportunity. So sat down, did a quick application, just, filled it out right there. And didn't tell anybody.
Of course not.
No, because right, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, there are thousands of, or a couple, almost 2,000 people applied, 1,600, and it wasn't until I got an email that said, "Hey, we'd like to, set up a phone interview to, talk more about this opportunity." Right. And I was like, "Oh, okay."
I made the second cut.
Well, they're going to talk to me.
Some cut,
they're not going to talk to everybody, right? So then I told one teacher at my school, like, "Oh, I'm going to talk to this guy tomorrow night." And then I told my sister, about 10 minutes before I was going to have the phone call. So the phone interview, and then I got to talk to Coach Mike Eric, which was amazing. I thought, no matter what, just having a conversation with him on the phone, that was
great coach.
Really awesome. Yeah, so that was cool. That was a win-win right there. And then once Hyland said, made the decision, my school surprised me. And they did surprise me.
Did they do it right?
Yeah, one of the representatives contacted the school, and they set up a whole, and they did it within a couple hours. They called that morning and said, "All right, Rachel, we need you to come into the, into the room to have the kids, or doing some games. We need a little feedback, some ploy." I'm like, "Oh yeah, okay, I have a little bit of time."
And you fell for it, hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah, and then they did this whole Wheel of Fortune. The letters turning on the screen, you are going to Boston. So it was really awesome.
So cool.
Yeah,
and you were totally surprised.
I was totally surprised, and my students were there. A lot of the students, the 4th, 5th, and 6th grade were there, and a lot of the teachers. So it was. When I saw those words, I thought, are they just being supportive? Right. Are they like trying to cheer me on?
You can do it.
Right, and then I saw on the screen, Ken Chan, who was the one I had done the initial interview with. I was like, "Whoa, there he is! Whoa, what's he doing here?" So it was, wow, yeah, it was really huge. You feel like how what's so.
Yeah. Now you run Boston before?
I did 2008, 2010.
Okay, so the third time.
Third time, yep.
But you probably haven't done it in the rain.
I have not done. No, I had
in the really, really cold.
Nope. So this is it's all about the challenge.
Fun.
Yeah, right.
Now, are the kids you teach, were they pretty excited about this?
Yes. So I had everybody that wanted to. Had an opportunity to. I gave them a lot of information. I gave them my age, how many marathons I've run. Here you go, and let them predict what they thought my time might be.
Nice. So, that's cool. What they say.
And anybody that had, I'm a 3:41 is my PR.
Wow.
But I've had a 5-hour marathon.
Sure.
I'm like, you got a big window here, guys. And that was not my best, but tomorrow, who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah,
so there are a lot of predictions, and if they were 2.5 hours, I'm like, no, we're going to redo this. You want to make that a 4? That's a pretty good. That's a pretty good.
2.5 ain't gonna happen.
Right. So I'm bringing back some tokens for whoever gets closest in each of my classes.
So you've been able to involve the kids in the whole program.
Yes. Yeah, they gave me a big send off at school with gold medals made out of paper plates and messages and poems and banners. And
how fun is that?
I'm like, well, now they're all watching, so I just better cross the line.
And they can track you the whole day.
Right,
they're
exactly.
all watching now, right?
And it's so cool that it's on a Monday that they can be at school.
So what is it about? I mean, if somebody's a teacher, they're obviously not thinking about how much money they're making, right? You're teaching for other reasons.
Right.
Well, why are you a teacher? What is it about teaching that's so special for you?
I love working with the kids, and as a PE teacher, that is, they're excited.
Yes.
To come to PE.
Yeah, it's not like it's calculus.
Right, and it's not like it's high school. I think it's a little more challenging in high school. There's a little more.
Yeah.
So when I go pick them up from in their classroom to bring them down to the gym, they're bouncing off the walls. They're on my heels. They're skipping and jumping. They're very excited and they like it, and they love running. We don't do running as a punishment. It's a reward.
Yes. Yeah.
And I have kids that's like, all right, this is what we're going to do today. I tell them, what's going on. And can we run first? I mean, they do. They love running. I'm talking kindergarten. 3 years old is the youngest. I go 3 up to 3 years old to 6th grade. And they're fun.
They love it.
They love it. They're fun.
I always hated it when they made running into a punishment.
Right.
Okay, go run a lap.
Right, right.
And it's like, why? Why would you do that?
Right.
Then you make them hate running.
Right. I mean, sometimes they'll say, hey, all right, we're going to run because It's going to help you focus. We know it's going to make you smarter.
Right.
You're having a little hard time listening right now, so let's run a little bit, and then we'll get to our talking about what we're going to do next.
One of the things we're dealing with in this country, obviously, childhood obesity is a big issue. Kids are sedentary, they're playing video games, and I think part of that is that whole running as punishment type of thing. How do we get the kids to love being outdoors again? How do we get the kids and the schools to embrace that? Embrace what you're doing.
Well,
embrace Let Me Run.
Right. Give them the opportunity, let them out. But we know, research, we know that they will do better in the classroom.
Right.
If they're fit,
if they're happy,
or even if they get out and do jumping jacks for 30 seconds before they take a test. It's scientifically proven. So look to the science. If you want math and reading and all of these things, we know that the brain needs the exercise. It shouldn't be a hard sell.
It should not.
It should not be a hard sell.
Now, do you
let them out and run?
Do you have a personal goal for tomorrow?
Yeah, A goal was under 4 hours. B goal was 4:15. C goal was 4:30. D goal was just get across the line.
Yeah, without a light stick.
Right, and I'm not going to be looking at the watch. I just want to.
So when you run on race day, no watch. You wear a watch.
I'll have a watch.
But you don't look at it.
All right, so I'm 53, and I bought my first Garmin about 2 months ago. I might need to, Coach Mike's got a plan for me that I'm trying to stick to, so I need a little more information than I've been getting in the past. So and that's fun.
Coach Mike, like you mentioned, and you hadn't really worked with a coach
Never,
before. What has he brought to the table for you?
A very calm demeanor.
Yes.
Very reassuring. Any little, crazy things that are going through the head. But he's so experienced. I just trust him.
That's the thing. I've heard this over and over. Yeah,
right.
The trust.
And he made out the plan. I didn't have to think about it. It's like, this is what I'm doing. And I was a person that, over the summer, it was so beautiful, and I'm visiting my sister in California, and I'm running every day. I'm running 8 miles or 6 miles, and I'm just running.
Right.
And then with the plan, I had Wednesdays off, and it was like, ooh, okay, I'm not doing something today. Is that okay? And then with his, pretty regimented and, really awesome plan, I looked forward to the Wednesdays because those rest days became important. That was a big thing that I learned.
Yes.
Is how a big reminder, getting those, letting that body recover, and then work a little bit harder on the other days instead of just
doing the same pace all the time.
Going out and doing it. Right.
I think we learn over time is as we get older, we can do the same hard workouts that we did 10, 15 years ago, but we need more time off and recovery to do them again.
Right.
It makes a huge difference.
Right.
And breaking it up like that, where some days are harder, I think we can all fall into that. I'm going to go do my 6 miler, and you run at the same pace every single day, and you don't improve, and you go, why? And it's like, oh, duh.
Right. And getting out to the track, it was fun. That's where I started, right?
Yes, when you were a kid.
12 years old. And getting back out there.
You probably hadn't been there in years.
No, I hadn't done a lot of track workout in the past 15 years, for sure.
And now you're back in the track.
Yeah, and it was fun. It seems painful and torturous.
I think you're going to surprise yourself with what you do tomorrow.
You never know.
I love it. Rachel, thanks so much for taking time.
It was a pleasure to meet you. I really appreciate this.
All right.
Thank you.
And again, for Let Me Run, how do people find out more information?
LetMeRun.org.
Oh, there you go.
Put it in.
And you'll find out all the programs.
Yes, yeah.
Those are programs you need to be doing. I love that.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, I have to have Let Me Run.
Rachel Simpson, LetMeRun.org. Again, Breakfast with Bob Boston Marathon Edition, presented and hosted by Hyland, Stop Your Cramp, Not Your Race, and by Polar, Chase Your Destiny. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.